Today we're going to be multiplying polynomials. When you have a monomial times a polynomial, you can use the distributive method. Distribute means to pass out, so I'm going to take this first term and I'm going to distribute to each term in the second parentheses. By doing that, I then look at the fact that negative 8 times 2 gives me an answer of negative 16. When you have y to the third times y to the fourth, you get y to the seventh because you add your exponents. So this is going to give me y to the seventh. Now, when you have negative 8 times negative 5, you get positive 40. Y to the third, y to the second gives you y to the fifth because you add your exponents. Negative 8 times positive 3 gives us negative 24 y to the third. And that's going to be my answer. So that's how you would use distributive method. When you have a binomial times a binomial, you can use what they call the FOIL method. F stands for first, O stands for outside, I stands for inside, L stands for last. So when I look at my first term in each parentheses, we have two terms, which we'll be multiplying every time. So the first term here is 6w and negative 3w. So 6w and negative 3w is going to give me negative 18w squared. Because remember, you add your exponents like we did in the box above. Outside terms, 6w is on the outside, 4 is on the outside, and it's multiplying, so we're multiplying polynomials. So this is 6 times 4, which gives us positive 24w. Next, you have your inside terms. These two are your inside, so negative 3 and negative 3w. Again, make sure you're multiplying. A negative times a negative gives us a positive. 3 times 3 is 9w. My last terms are negative 3 and positive 4. When we multiply, we get negative 12. If you notice, your middle two terms are like terms, so make sure you combine your like terms by adding them. So my answer is going to result in negative 18w squared. 24 and 9 give me 33w minus 12. Now, if you do not like the FOIL method, you can always go to the second option, which is the box method. Box method is called the box method because we use a box. Since we're doing a binomial times a binomial, it will be a 2-term by 2-term box. So therefore I have 4 boxes. I'm going to take the first parentheses and put it across the top. I'm going to take the second binomial and put it along the side. It looks like our multiplication tables we used to do when we were little. So 2 times 2 gives us 4. X times x gives us x squared. 2 times 5 gives us a positive 10. Don't forget your x. 2x times negative 5 gives us negative 10x. 5 times negative 5 gives us negative 25. If I write all 4 terms out, this gives me 4x squared plus 10x minus 10x minus 25. Again, our middle terms, just like below, are like terms, so we must combine like terms. So my final answer here is 4x squared minus 25. Now, I just want to focus on this problem for just a few minutes because this, if you notice your two binomials are identical except for they both have separate signs, different signs. So when you have different signs, your product will be called a difference, meaning subtraction, of two squares. 2 squared is 4. X squared is x squared. 5 squared is 25. So that's where you get a difference of two squares. Now, if you don't recognize this pattern, it's okay. You can still continue to use the box method. Now, we can go one step further by doing the box method when we have binomials times trinomials, or just in general, binomials times polynomials altogether. But instead of having a 2 by 2 box, we have to have a 3 by 2 because it's a trinomial times a binomial. So I'm just going to draw a 3 by 2 box. So there's my 2, there's my 3. My trinomial is going to go across the top, so 3b squared minus 2b plus 1. And my binomial is going to go along the side. So now we're going to fill in our boxes. 3b to the third, because again, you're adding exponents and it's implied that there's a 1 there. B times b gives us the b squared and a negative 2. A b times a 1 gives us a positive b. 3 times 3 is positive 9b squared. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6b. 3 times 1 is positive 3. Now, you can list out all 6, but I want you to notice right here is where we're going to have our like terms. They're always diagonal from each other if you've done this proper. So I can just finish this out by saying my answer is 3b to the third. 9 and negative 2 give me positive 7b squared. Negative 6 and a positive 1b give me negative 5b plus 3.